Hi, you're about to learn my proven system for achieving top 10% confidence and self-esteem. My name is Lucio Buffalmano, founder of The Power Moves, and our flagship course delivered a 700% increase in confidence. If a 700% improvement is interesting for you, then listen out. First off, difference between confidence and self-esteem. Confidence is more about dependent on the situation, self-esteem is more foundational. In this video, we will talk more about the foundational self-esteem. However, the two are interrelated. Introducing the pyramid of confidence. Don't worry, I know it looks freaking complex. However, it's much simpler than it looks. So let me quickly describe it for you. At the top, we have everything that you can control more easily, such as behavior and results. Yes, results, you cannot always control it so easily. However, they're still practical. Below here, we have more what happens at a mental level. And the lower we go, the more we enter into the subconscious. So in this lesson, I want to focus mostly on the subconscious part. The left side here lists what stands in the way of high self-esteem. And on this side, we have the exercises you can do. Among the issues, we have conditioning, such as what your parent taught to you, toxic core belief, toxic shame, especially the anxious attachment style, traumas/fears, approval seeking, and helplessness. All of these impact the various subfacets of self-esteem, which include self-acceptance, which at the higher level becomes self-love, self-trust, and self-respect. I want to start with self-acceptance because I believe it's the most foundational. And to make this as practical as possible, we're gonna jump right away to the exercises you can do for self-acceptance. Now, if you're a guy, let me warn you, these can sound a little bit not very masculine, effeminate, and back in the days, we could have called them gay. However, please don't let that stop you. Don't think that way because these are foundational for you to flourishing as a man. The most popular that you will often hear online are about standing in front of a mirror, sometimes naked, and telling yourself, I love you. I told you that they sound a little bit weird, but still, that exercise is actually good. The only limitation with that is that you standing in front of a mirror is you as an adult. Ideally here, we want to heal the wounds that you had as a child. So personally, I recommend and advise that you start with meditation. Ideal of the ideal is a picture of you as a child when you look happy but naive. We want to heal and protect that baby within you. So you sit down, meditate, and after a while, when you're relaxed, you start thinking about yourself as a child. Hug yourself, tell yourself that you love yourself, that you will be there for you. This type of exercise is particularly useful for every one of you who hasn't had much love growing up. Keep in mind that often people think of having had enough love just because they had normal parents who didn't beat them up. However, lack of love is much more common. Common issue with maternal love are about conditional love. For example, with tiger parents, it's I love you if you're successful, good in school, and make me proud. For somebody else, it could be I'm proud of you as long as you go in the army, or for my father it was as long as you go in the Navy like he did. And there can be many of these situations. So that type of exercise is going to be extremely helpful. After you loved yourself as a child, you can start with the present one. Standing in front of a mirror is okay, or you can still do it while meditating. Personally, I prefer and recommend while meditating. Now, we went from the past to the present. Next, I want you to go to the future. I want you to imagine alone, or even worse, with some family, but they're only there for what you leave them, for the dowry. And here it may be worth reminding that the ideal that you have your loving family while you die, for many of us, the reality is that it's a Disney dream. However, the beautiful thing is that as long as you have your own love, you don't need anybody. So think about yourself in your deathbed. Nobody's there, or the people who are there don't care about you. And that's okay, because you will extend your own love and compassion for dying you. Once you reach a good level with self-acceptance and self-love, you will not need anybody. It's complete mental power and freedom, and it's beautiful. Now you can do more with the present you, but while you accept and love yourself, you think about all your defects, whatever you don't like about yourself. Maybe you're short, maybe you're bold, or maybe you're not that smart, or whatever. You include your defects and you love despite of them in the beginning, and then you love including them and then you may reach the next step. You love yourself because of them. Extend your self-compassion. You're okay as you are. You love yourself as you are because of who you are. Now, a quick warning I want to make here. For many cases, ideally, you want to work on yourself and your own self-development. Yes, you want to love yourself as you are. However, some people are assholes. And I don't want you to love yourself in your asshole form. That's why general self-development always goes hand in hand with these exercises. You develop yourself, you stop manipulating, you stop playing power moves, you uplift people, and then you have real good reason to truly accept and love yourself. Next level, maybe we can talk about traumas and fears. Now, not everybody has traumas, so don't run to therapy, but some people have them, in which case therapy can be very helpful. Common fears instead include fear of rejections, fear of aggression, fear of confrontations, and these often cluster with the people-pleasing personality, in vernacular, the too nice guy. Good approaches for this one include exposure therapy, such as you get exposed yourself to the thing you fear. Some people are also afraid of physical confrontation. So in these cases, behaviors such as going to a dojo, learning martial arts, boxing or whatever can be very helpful. And yes, usually behavior struggles to fix everything at the subconscious level, but in this case, it's very helpful. For other fears such as strong emotion, you can actually go through a type of therapy where people can yell at you and you just stand there and you reply calmly. Get a lot of people yelling at you, eventually you will not be so scared anymore. Other interesting issues here are toxic shame and inherited shame. Not many have it, however, those who have it, it truly prevents them from reaching the top 10% of self-esteem. One interesting example of inherited shame was actually from the book Sapiens. It's a wonderful book, however, if you read it, you will realize that the author often references what we did poorly in the past, and the frame is that we should feel bad as individual Homo sapiens for what old Homo sapiens did. So the frame there becomes, this is what your ancestors did, don't you feel bad about it? And the empowered man answer is, fuck no. Look, this goes both in the positive and in the negative way. In the negative way, it means you cannot take any pride or any credit for the good that the past people did. However, on the positive side, you are not guilty for anything they did. Remember, you're an individual. It's always more empowering to look at yourself as an individual. So don't take any credit for what others did, but also don't take the blame. Similar is for collective shame, which is what most recent individuals did in your country's history, for example, or what the current one do. I don't know, some Americans may feel guilty when they go abroad because some countries have issues with Americans. A common one in Germany is for people to feel guilty about the Nazi in their past, to which again the only answer to that is fuck that. Some people do some bad things, some people do some great things. Why should you choose to adopt the worst things that people did? You are one person. You have nothing to do with your country. At the higher level, you can feel great about the great things human did and reject the bad side. But as a beginner, it's simpler to just reject both. Look at yourself as an individual. It's more empowering for you, for what you're going to achieve, and for how you feel. Another interesting one here is approval seeking, and it's about emotional power dynamics. On the power moves, we call it the judge role, such as you seek the approval of a judge, who is somebody who is powerful, successful, or somebody who was important in your life. Often it's a parent, but not always. The first step to curing this is realizing that you are seeking someone's approval. Sometimes it's easier to realize it because you just want others to like you. But some other times it's not as easy because we don't always seek their approval, but we just seek their company. Or some other times we do the opposite, whatever they will disapprove of. This is the typical rebel behavior of the teenager, but some people keep doing it also as adults. Some other times we don't even seek the approval of a specific person, but we seek the approval of a specific group. This is why also we at the Power Moves often recommend that you develop yourself as an individual first before joining a group. There are several issues with group. Often, many of them are led by dark triad individuals that do not want your empowerment. However, talking about approval seeking, when you're part of a group, it's human nature that you want to increase your status, protect your status, and to do that, you need the approval of the group. Some other times we seek the approval of the collective of people. And this is why some people end up in professions that they don't like, but just because their parents or society approves and likes them. For a very quick overview, this can be enough. Start with these exercises and you will see your self-esteem will start improving day by day. I've done several of those and they were fantastic. Personally, I've overcome what I felt was a lack of maternal love. I've also overcome a phobia. For me it was of water. Little by little I learned swimming, and I'm laughing because I was a 30-year-old going there with life preservers here in a super small pool, but I did it, and I used to have nightmares about floods. Little by little those nightmares starting to change. It was not me being helpless, but it was me seeking for solution or thinking how could I swim it through. And today I can't even remember the last time I had a nightmare/dream about floods. If any of this was any helpful, we have much more and many more exercises in Confidence University, both at the subconscious level and even more at all these other levels. We combine high power mindsets and beliefs with those that are anti-fragile. As you've seen, we start from the bottom, addressing the more foundational issues, and then we build little by little until you will get concrete real-life results, and you will go through life respecting yourself, loving yourself, and with the confidence and self-esteem of a top 10% and maybe even top 1% men. Check the link in the description and I'll see you in the next video. See you guys. Ciao, ciao. Cheers.